Welcome to the Sweet Home Recap, Season 2. Split into different groups, Hyun-Su and Kim Young-Soo in Sang-wook's body hijacks the armored vehicle on the way to Bam-seon's secured facility where all the special infectees are located. He knows because Young-Soo previously escaped the facility. Hyun-Su tries to fight back and escape the vehicle, but it is trivial. Pursuing them is the Special Infectious Disease Response Team. Blended in with them is Ki-young. They deploy explosives to delay the armored vehicle, but it fails to slow them. They escape to a mall. When now calmed, Hyun-Su is dressed up and convinced to help Young-Soo enact revenge on the facility. Meanwhile, the group of survivors are taken to the shelter, dropped off to walk with all the survivors of the disease. The soldiers are cautious, any signs of monsterification is strictly dealt with little to no room for defiance. The trail of soldiers leads up to workers removing the rubble from the mix. They are intercepted by a frog-like monster. In the midst of gunfire and sheer terror, Eun-Yu grabs a pistol from a recently deceased soldier, escaping with their neighbors under two soldiers, Park Jin-young and Lieutenant Lee Jae-hee. Eun-Yu uses this pistol to force the soldiers to return to the apartment complex, hoping that Eun-hook, her brother, has survived the golden hour period. She leaves the pistol with Ji-soo, entering the decayed and crumbling complex. Eun-Yu finds Eun-hook's glasses, the ones she fixed, his paper reminding her to push on, and a mirror that they shared. Outside, hearing Lieutenant Jae-hee's pleas of a cure, Jae-hwan springs into action, giving them enough time for the soldiers to regain power and drop the pistol. Eun-Yu is beaten for her defiance. They notice the entirety of Crow Team 1's corpses. Irritated by them, he runs over monsterified Miss but the blind monster quickly gets rid of him to mitigate sound. Soldier Jin-young guides them to the bus, and they quickly make their getaway, picking up a soldier on the way to the shelter. Outside, on a pit stop of urination, Jae-hwan starts to transform and strangles Soo-young. They manage to evacuate the bus and incinerate him. It is too late for Soo-young and she passes. Hyun-Su and Young-soo make it to the facility, crashing through the gates. Hyun-Su is compelled to put the soldiers out of their misery. Strangely, Young-soo's powers aren't coming into effect. He blames Sang-wook for taking his body and drags Young-soo into the facility where they will be experimented on. Hyun-Su meets Dr. Lim, a doctor experimenting on special infectees, or monster humans. Hyun-Su reveals an ability. He is able to remind the monsters of their human lives, and they concede their monsterification. This only ends their life as a test subject. Hyun-Su is the first to be able to do this. Outside, the group decide to walk the rest of the way to the stadium. First Lieutenant Tak In-hyun and captain of the second Crow team discovers the first Crow team's corpses. Pulling off their dead tags, they drive the platoon back to camp in Bam-seon and await new orders. At the facility, Young-soo is pronounced dead, but he wakes up and kills the doctors. Crawling out and hiding in MH1, his powers start to return. He hides in a new compartment, sneaking into the facility to try and find her husband. Ki-young blends in, but she is recognized by Dr. Lim. He allows her to pass, being old friends of her husband. She enters the MH containment, where Dr. Lim is dragged off. She finds that her husband, or MH1, has fully transformed. In tears and pain from the child, she passes out. Dr. Lim is taken to the Prime Minister. They had finally recovered the suitcase containing the cure. However, he had hid it to keep his leverage. With all hope lost, he is tortured, before being told their final plan. The monsterification is impossible to cure, and to remove it, they need to erase mankind. Tak In-hyun's sergeant had committed suicide. He takes his men on a special mission. The crew have split up as they arrive at the stadium. The Prime Minister orders for the military to blow up the stadium, containing the last of mankind. The army break in under Tak In-hwa and kill all the officials, unlocking the system and turning off all the missiles. On the ground, Yeon-soo causes havoc, releasing all the monsters and special infectees, even finding Cha Hyun-soo, using his special ability to wither Hyun-soo and leaving him for death. The military get to their facility and blow it up. With the survivors, they seek refuge under Chief G. Jumping 6 months, the facility has been broken up into two sections. Tak In-hyo is the military that gathers food outside. Chief G works inside the compound working as an engineer. The groups barely interact, and every day she picks out volunteers to help her work. They get extra rations to purchase food and whatnot. Dr. Lim works as their doctor and monster researcher. For the most part, civilians aren't allowed outside. Eun-Yu breaks this by scavenging through a secret door. She sells this loot and is notorious for killing Chief G's husband. Her connection to Sung-won, Young-soo, and Jin-ok shuns them from society. When she is out scavenging, 3 of Chief G's goons follow her out. They know that if they kill Eun-Yu, they can have the outside to themselves and take as much food as they want. Picking up an assault rifle, they hunt her down. She notices and makes a break for it, hiding out in a warehouse. One of the goons splits off from the group, stumbling into a fluorescent flower garden. He wakes up a sleeping girl, fearing that there are monsters outside, but she is the monster and touches touches him, leaving him to be. The goons are unable to locate Eun-Yu. Running into Yi, she turns one of the goons into a monster minion, forcing him to kill the other as he drags the body out. Making it out of the warehouse, Yi hates humans, yet she spares Eun-Yu. The military make their trip out on a supply run. Young-Hu, second in command, takes the crew out. On this trip, they lose soldier Hyun-Su. On the way back, they locate the last goon left outside. Looking for his sick mother, she had been locked up for signs of monsterification. He transforms quick, getting angry at his mother for being constantly sick. He kills her and his body explodes. Dr. Lim is puzzled by this, meaning what they know of monsters is changing. Every day they have roll calls where they check for cuts to spot monsterification symptoms. Young-Su is bullied for being adopted and starts to rebel against Jin-uk. At the same time, Chief Ji's daughter, Yu-Su, is treated highly. The soldiers want to go back out and look for Young-Suk, but In-Hyun turns them down because they would be risking the lives of many for one. On top of that, the only way they would send out troops is if they receive a signal. Scared of possible monsters, In-Hu sends Park to figure out the secret doors in the compound and seal them. Instead, he follows Eun-Yu. She makes contact with Yi and they run to Ki-young. Calling for her daughter, Yi comes back. They disappear at the dead of night, tying up her hands and hiding her in the abandoned boat they call home. She tries to catch up, but is caught in a trap. Park and her talk overnight. She admits that there has been a looming figure that has been saving her. She is hoping that it is her brother. When she killed Chief Ji's husband, he had already turned into a monster. In the morning, seeing that they have survived, they are pulled out of the trap, meeting back up with the survivor from the bus and his new daughter slash student slash friend named Ha-ni. They are imprisoned. She also has a massive crush on Park. Woken up, Eun-Yu is allowed to leave. Park wakes up to a surprise and is given the chance to leave, but first, he must drink the delicious green soup. It is poisoned and he passes out. Eun-Yu is ambushed by Yi. Despising humans, she pushes her down a hole. She is rescued by Hyun-Su. Disillusioned, she fails to follow Hyun-Su and reluctantly catches back up with the intoxicated Park at camp. He was poisoned by magic mushrooms. Ha-ni has a high tolerance. Hyun-Su surprises them with a burnt Ki-young. Separating, Eun-Yu and Park help get her to a hospital, but it is too late for her. Hyun-Su explains that she birthed Yi and couldn't bear to kill her monster daughter, so she left her with Hyun-Su. She too couldn't bear being away from her. Later they were attacked by humans, and this is where her hate of humans grew from. This was also the first time she showed signs of being a monster, killing the humans from touch. Ki-young locked away her hands. As time passed, Yi revealed that she could hear all of Ki-young's regretful thoughts of birthing her. She escaped and burnt down the ship, accidentally causing Ki-young's death. Yi visits her and turns her into a monster. She flees from them in this state. Sang-wan notices symptoms. After sabotaging the electricity, Chief Ji gets her spoiled daughter locked up. She also tricks Sang-wan into helping her and tosses him into a room locked away to feed her monster. Tak-in-hwa starts to show signs of transformation. Dr. Lim catches this and they make a deal. Just as they locate the SOS signal from Young-Suk, they dispatch the four of them, including the doctor, including Young-Hu and Soo-jin. After taking a sample from a monster tribe, they take it to the hospital where they will experiment. They split off, Soo-jin to look out for Young-Suk and Young-Hu with the doctor. One of them is immediately killed by a slime monster. Hearing shrieks of death, they leave the doctor to experiment with the alien sacs as they try to reconvene with the others. Luckily, they find a girl living in the hospital, saying that they are survivors too. They have locked up the soldier, taking them to the cell that is welded shut. One of them stays with Young-Suk, and the other takes the girl to find more answers. Young-Hu meets a gentleman. Unwilling to cooperate, he fires at him. Young-Suk warns them to leave, saying the test subjects now own the place. Young-Hu is killed. The remaining soldiers become toys for the monsters. Dr. Lim becomes imprisoned by Young-Su, or his first test subject. In the end, an egg plops someone out. Eun-Hyuk is still alive. This is where the story ends. Make sure to subscribe, and for more, watch this.